Hello there, Cancer, and welcome to your May forecast. I hope that this month has gotten off to a great start for everyone, and as always, it's really good to see you again. Now, if you do know your sun, rising, and moon sign, I'd just like to remind everybody that these videos can be used for all three. If you're in doubt or you're not sure, just go ahead and stick with your sun sign or your birthday, and that will give you the most accurate reading. Now, let me just run through the format for those of you that are new. I like to start off with some channeled information, which I'll talk about in just a second. Then I expand the forecast, look at the cards and see what they have to say, and then look a little bit further at what I call an expanded forecast, which is health, wealth, love, and destiny. So let's get started with the channeled information. The way that I arrive at this is I meditate on each sign before I start the reading, and I engage in some automatic writing, which allows me to connect with my intuition. So your message this month was to stay inspired. Make time to spark and to kindle your imagination. This is going to give you the vitality and the motivation to see your dreams through fruition. As a child, sometimes we're told to not let our imagination get away from us, or we're taught to be more practical as we grow up. The secret here, or I think what we lose as we grow up, is your imagination and your intuition. They have this beautiful overlap. And when you stop sort of dreaming, then you're no longer really connecting to your source, to your soul. So I want you to do things this month that inspire you. This could be going to a museum, reading a book, listening to music, taking a walk, whatever it is, watching sports. There's lots of different ways that you can connect to something that's your passion. But I want you to take yourself out of the present and project possibilities. That's going to create, like I said, this sense of vitality and motivation. And once that happens, wonderful things start to open up. What I'd really love for you to do is to find something that really creates this sense of joy, discovery, awe, excitement, all that stuff that we lose sometimes when we grow up. So enough said with that. Let's now take a look at the cards and see what additional insights they have to share. At this point, I'm going to shuffle and remain quiet as I observe the cards with you. And as I mentioned, this is a special card that I like to pull in addition to the Celtic Cross. I call it a catalyst. Really what it's going to do in this spread is to connect everything together and also show you how to ignite or how to spark the best possible outcome this month. So yours is the Shaman of Discs. And this is an equivalent here, as you can tell, to a Knight card. And what I like, though, I really like the name Shaman because to me, that integrates the ability to create, to manifest. And I think that's really what your potential is this month. And with discs or pentacles or coins, that really is about your resources. So this card is saying get creative with your resource management, with finding things perhaps that you had forgotten. And it's also showing you that you have a lot more power to control and to spark this part of your life than you may have given yourself credit for in the past. So I see growth and empowerment in the area of resources, whether it's time, money, etc. Now, as we look at the rest of the cards here, right at the center we have, again, the same card but in reverse. So we have here Knight of Discs upright, and now we have the Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Discs reversed. So the big opportunity this month is to turn things around when it comes to your resources, your money, your time, and a lot of this has to do with how you feel about things. We look here just to the right, which is in the near future position, and we have Five of Pentacles, which is, to me, often indicative of either self-confidence or how we were taught to feel about ourselves, our money, our situation, and that can come from, a lot of times, from our mother or our father, but it can also be the environment around us. This card in your catalyst position this month is inviting you and also kind of nudging you to move past what you were taught and move towards what you feel. I see that many of you are ready to either go out on a limb, take a risk, do something new, and maybe you're looking for permission, maybe you're afraid of what other people might think about that, But no matter what it is, this is an opportunity that only comes up once in a while, once in a lifetime for some of you. So I think it's really important to take that leap of faith. The interesting thing is that your crowning card is the Lovers. Even though it's reversed, it's still a very positive card. When it comes to just life in general, the Lovers card is something that really is showing you that it's a great time for you to talk to other people, to reach out. Interpersonal relationships are going to be very important this month. Some of you may be going out on a limb and proposing to someone, because when I see the combination of an Ace of Pentacles and a Lover's card, again, even in reverse, this shows me that there's a thought, perhaps not an execution like a proposal just yet, but a thought of proposing to somebody. And there could be a delay because of confidence, because of money, because of other concerns. But what's important here is, how do you feel? Are you doing this because you want to, or because other people want you to? And that's really going to be the most important thing. That's your litmus test to figure out, is it right for me? The other interesting thing when I'm looking at your overall resources, we have another reverse card, but this is your Six of Pentacles, which is a card of balance and more than adequate. That's usually how I would sum this up. It's like a B+, C- when it comes to your finances. And it's showing me that with proper budgeting, you're gonna be fine. But it does require that you can't do everything that you want. So I think the big opportunity this month is, how can you bring in more money, more abundance, more opportunities, or a feeling that what you have, you're enjoying more. There's something off a little bit in that area, and I feel like for you, it's about following what your heart is guiding you to do. And if this has to do more with love, this self-confidence has to exist before you can invite someone else to share their life with you. Now, for those of you in a relationship, this has more to do with how much time are you spending with your partner, because we have here a choices card, which for some of you could be that you're spending too much time with friends or too much time at work, or whatever it may be, but you're not feeling either that you're spending enough time with your partner or they're spending enough time with you. So this is a chance for the two of you to find more equilibrium, to make some give and take and some sacrifices together that make sense for the two of you. Now, as we sort of expand this out, the key theme here in your ego this month is really to feel a sense of ownership and control. So I like the Chariot card. I like it in that position, and I like that it's upright. By and large, this tells me that if you plan and take advantage of any of the momentum and the resources that come your way this month, I feel like you're going to see progress. The Chariot shows, for me, movement. The only warning that ever comes through with the Chariot is to make sure that if anyone else is either with you, like in a relationship, or on a project, that you're both seeing eye to eye. Because the only way a Chariot works is through cooperation. And I actually prefer, I'm glad that these decks have an older sort of symbology here, because a car wouldn't give you the same feeling. But when you think of a carriage, when you think of a chariot, there's typically two horses or two animals that are pulling it. And if one is going this direction and one is going this direction, the chariot is not going anywhere. So it's important for you to have a very focused vision of what you want, where you're headed, and to really do your best to pull everyone else into that vision so that they can support you. Now, as I look in your environment card, what I'm seeing is this is a great month for you to focus on personal development, on taking care of yourself, and also if there's anyone in your life that seems to be taking more than they're giving, you want to set up appropriate boundaries this month, making sure that you understand the trade-offs, and only things that are reciprocal are something that you're really going to engage in, whether it's activities, jobs, relationships. Everything needs to sort of have a balance. So the only thing that I want to see a little bit in your favor is, I do think that you taking care of yourself and definitely saving more this month is going to be important. Saving time and saving money. One thing that I want you to really embrace is your intuition. Now, whenever I see this, it really is showing me, one, an awakening or slightly heightened intuition, but the reversal of the card speaks to the fact that sometimes you wish you'd listen to yourself. So I don't want this to be one of those months. Also, as we see two sort of potentially tricky personalities in your life, when I see King of Pentacles in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse, this can show some manipulation going on, particularly in the area of money or work. And if that's happening, it's really important for you to stay aware of everything that's going on when it comes to paperwork and agreements, looking at those fine details and making sure that all parties are observing what they've promised to do, and that if somebody is trying to push the limits in a way that's not appropriate, that you do what's necessary to rectify that, remedy it. Now, your outcome card is great. We have the strength card here in the end, and speaking of vitality, which was part of my overall message, the channeled message for you, I feel that by the end of the month, you're really going to have a better sense of confidence, of independence. And for those of you that might be trying to make strides on your own health and physical routine, this is showing that any effort that you put into that is really going to come back tenfold. So I encourage you to do that. The other thing is, this is a card where when it appears in the outcome, it's saying, if you want to get things done, this is a month where you're really going to want to do it yourself. And you're going to want to speak up. It's encouraging you to be a little bit louder and a little bit more ambitious. So don't be afraid to do that, and realize as we kind of look at the overall arrangement that you're in a good place. The message here was one of empowerment, also showing that you have the ability to pull in a lot of good forces behind you, and that ultimately it's going to really be your leadership skills and your own ability to sell your ideas and believe in yourself that is going to foster your success in the end. All right, at this point, I like to expand the forecast and take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with your health card, which for me includes mind, body, and spirit. Your message for health this month is artistic expression. And this goes right back to your channeled information, which was to somehow spark your intuition, spark your imagination, which in turn sparks the intuition. And so I want you to do that however it feels best for you. But the reason that this is coming through, not only because it's going to help you become more intuitive, become more connected to yourself, it's really good for your mind. And we are looking at mind, body, and spirit here. And so this keeps your brain young, healthy, vital throughout your life. So art and expression are very important to that. And the other thing here is you can combine physical activity. This could be something like dance. So whatever it is that you want to do, especially if there's a physical component to it or some sort of using your hands or your body to do this, it's even better. That's why manual writing is actually more powerful than just typing, because you're really putting some energy into it. And whenever I do automatic writing, I typically still use a pen and paper, because there is something kind of magical with that. So I somehow want you to take your inspiration and use your body, whether it's your hands or the whole body in something like dance, and get that energy out. And I feel like this is also going to help you with stress relief as well. Let's now take a look at your wealth card. For me, wealth is all kinds of opportunities in your life. Of course, it can be money and work, but it can be other sort of opportunities that may pop up. Let's just let the card do the walking and see what comes through here. So we have this card that's showing it's time to release attachments. And the interesting thing with this, when we're looking at wealth, this can be a chance for you to sell things that you may no longer need. Maybe you've kept some pieces of furniture for a long time, you're not really using them anymore, and you feel like it's time now to clear the slate, to clear the energy. So you can do that. This can also be an attachment to a certain type of spending habit that might not be helping you. Maybe you're spending too much, maybe you're not saving enough, maybe there's debt that you want to release. Whatever it is, this is a month where you're not necessarily going to bring something new in. See if there's something that you can let go of, or that you can fix or release. So an improvement in saving or spending habits, selling something that you've been wanting to get rid of for a while. I do feel like you'll have interest in that. This can include a house as well. And now is the time, because I normally associate this with the spring in the Northern Hemisphere, so April and May in particular. So this is the perfect timing for you to do something like that if you want to. And I see a month turnaround on certain events like that when you're trying to sell either a physical item or something like a house, etc. So let's now take a look at your love card, and love is any type of relationship in your life. Let's see what the specific message is regarding love overall. So we have cleansing waters, and there's a second card underneath it, but I want to do one card at a time. So this is about a brand new start. And you see here, purification activates vibrant life force. But what I see with this is a chance to start anew. So if you're in an old relationship, this is about really seeing things from a new perspective and kind of washing away all of that past history that might be inhibiting you or weighing you down. This can also be about moving away from something and just having a brand new start. The second piece of this is reaching your destination. So knowing that whether you decide to stay still or move forward, they can both be valid for you. But what's important is, again, touching on what we talked about earlier, that this really resonates in the heart space for you. If it doesn't, then it's not right. So some of you that means stay, some of you that means go. But either way, you have to see it from the perspective of it being something new. And so if you are thinking of staying somewhere or with someone and you just can't let go of the past, then it may not be the best thing. But if you feel like you can do it and it's going to be a brand new start, then it is a great opportunity for you. All right, let's now take a look at your Destiny card. Destiny, of course, being a sort of projection and trajectory card as to where you're headed. Of course, if you like this card, then you can stay on track. If you feel like you'd like to shift it, then that's where free will enters in. So for a few signs this month, I've been picking up on the power of words here. The title of this is the word Lord, and the focus, the first two cards are on communication and praise, the positive aspects of communication, and the warning is to stay as transparent, to avoid any dishonesty, to be as noble as possible, and knowing that words actually have a power, almost as if they were an invocation, a powerful tool, and if misused, they can also be a weapon, but that's not the intent of this card, I should say. So with that being said, I really want you to think of this as your chance to stand out, to express yourself in a way that's going to show your power, your uniqueness, your kindness through the use of your communication. When and if you do this, things start to come into focus and they start to make sense for you. And then you start to also bring in a sense of empowerment. People start to respect you because of the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you speak, the way that you resonate. Let's go ahead now and do a quick review of everything that we talked about today. When we look at the channeled information, the main message for you was to stay inspired. Spark and kindle your imagination because that's going to give you vitality and motivation. Motivation that will ultimately help you fulfill and create your dreams, bring them into fruition. When we look at your catalyst card, it was an antithesis or a foil to the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So we have the Shaman of Discs, the same as Knight of Pentacles, saying that you have the ability to turn things around financially or with respect to how you feel about yourself. And then at the center here, we have a card that shows that you may be experiencing some issues with self-confidence or in the past, maybe not feeling that you were making the progress that you wanted to make. When and if you start to follow your heart, however, then soon after, I feel like your opportunity is going to follow. The most important thing you can do this month, though, is really to focus on personal development. And if there are people around you that are taking too much from you, it's time to put some limits to that. I feel that the more in control you are of your time and energy, the more empowered you're going to feel. Really focus on listening to yourself. You don't really want to have any sort of second guessing or looking back and thinking, if I'd only listened, if I'd only paid attention to that intuition. Great time for intuitive development as well. Remembering that as the month wraps up, it's your leadership skills that are really going to win people over. And so that's why I want you to work on that personal development first, because at the end of the day, that's really what's going to make you shine. The expanded recap here starts off with the idea and the understanding that really, whenever you do any sort of artistic expression, this is going to not only sort of help you get rid of any sort of pent-up energy in your body, but it's also going to work your mind in a way that keeps you young, keeps you able to solve problems and to deal with pressure and stress in your life in a better way. So this artistic expression can be anything from dance to art to really any sort of activity that's engaging your mind, your hands, your body. So I'll leave it up to you, but this has benefits beyond the fact that you're creating something beautiful. The key benefit here is that it's going to keep your mind alive and get rid of energy in your body that might be sort of stuck or creating pain or other issues. For money, the key opportunity this month is to release debt, to release spending habits that don't suit you, and to release other attachments or addictions for that matter, sometimes through shopping or keeping items, whatever it is. This is your chance to open up the space and allow for something new to come in. For love, this is a chance to look at a relationship from a different angle and think, I'm ready to start again. I want to try this one more time. And we're going to allow for the past to be the past. Either way that you kind of slice this, if you stay or if you go, know that that is really your destination. It has to feel right. It says here your light is shining brightly. I think this is important. If you're in a partnership or relationship where you can't shine, where you can't be yourself, that in and of itself is your answer. You can't mute your light, you can't mute your fire. And think about that when you have to make the decision there. Finally, don't underestimate the power of words. This card was reversed, but when we focus on the positive elements, it's clear communication, praise or positivity, and avoiding any sort of lack of transparency, being as honest as possible. When you do this, then not only are you going to feel better, but people start to respect you as well. And also when you understand how powerful communication can be, this is a really wonderful way for you to create more respect, more opportunity in your life. So that brings our monthly reading to a close, and I hope it gave you what you needed to successfully traverse all the challenges that might come your way this month. If you ever find yourself in a place where you want to chat maybe about a big decision or some sort of curveball that life has thrown your way, I am here for you and I'd be happy to do that. You can look right below the video and there'll be a link there. The first link is going to be a way to reach out and check out rates and availability. If you like videos like this and you would like to give back, the second link below the video gives you a way to donate to the channel. This is completely optional, but I do have production costs. It does cost money to create cards, and this is how I make a living. So if this has been something that you really appreciate, a donation as small as $1, one time, or a monthly donation at that point will really make a big difference. So feel free to do it if you feel called to. That link will help you find the way that works best for you, whether it's Patreon or a donation through PayPal. Both of those work. Finally, if you'd like to stay in touch through social media, I would love for you to do that. The first and easiest way, of course, is just to subscribe to this channel. But if you follow the third link, you'll be able to get links for my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds, as well as my newsletter. And the newsletter is sent out once a month. It's a great way to get direct links to all the videos and not to have to wait and kind of refresh the channel homepage, which I know some of you have to do. So I like to end each video with a little bit of gratitude, and this is my favorite part here because the whole reason I'm doing this every month is to raise consciousness. That's really my sort of purpose on the planet. So whether I'm teaching through what I write, what I speak about, or one-on-one sessions with people, it's really just so that everybody here can wake up. And I talked before, last couple of months, I've been setting the tone for this. The first is that I really hope all of us start to create this awakening, this chain of light on the planet. And some of us are going to rise up a little bit higher and kind of be like beacons of hope or lighthouses for people. And what I'd love for you to do this month is to somehow make a difference in your life, in people's lives around you. And so just like I do this each month and I never really get to see you guys or know who you are, I want you to do something that is just unconditional and selfless this month. It could be giving some money to a homeless person. It could be donating your time somewhere. It could just be listening, smiling, hugging someone, doing whatever you can that will somehow make a small ripple of positivity in the world. Doing that this month is going to, if we all do this, if all my subscribers here do that, then it's an amazing shift that can happen. And I hope that we can continue to do that from month to month. So my challenge this month is unconditional love, should you decide to do that. Even if you don't, I'm going to send it right out to you and say thank you so much for being who you are, for listening, and for working on yourself. I'll see you really soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.